right, it was you and me.
Hello everyone, my name is Nima and welcome back to my channel, or two if you are new, and today we are doing my June wrap up. In June I read a total of 13 books. I had a really good reading month, I think, if I can remember correctly. The days are blurring together a little bit here, people, but I'm pretty sure I read some really good books. I'm going to be doing mini reviews, giving you my thoughts on what I read in June, and without further ado, let's get right into this video. So the very first book that I read was Forget Me Not by QB Tyler, and I thoroughly enjoyed this one. I found an audiobook on Hoopla and I just literally read it, listened to it in one sitting, I believe, and it was just such an amazing time. So basically this book follows our heroine and our hero. Our hero just has woken up from a coma. He wakes up from the coma and he's asking for his wife. So the wife shows up. She's very confused as to why he doesn't remember that they had gotten a divorce, and so he's like, what? Like, why did we get a divorce? I would never do anything to hurt you. And she's like, well, yeah, you actually cheated on me. He's like, what? I would never cheat on you. Like, you're the love of my life. Since he is still in that like coma state, he doesn't remember anything that transpired between the two of them after a certain point in the relationship. And they're basically like trying to work things out, and he needs to be taken care of like around the clock. So he comes to live with her, and it's so cute. I love like a fixing relationship type of romance book, and this just served me so much goodness. I loved it, and there were really cute, like short and sweet flashback moments of when they were together happy, and then also things started to take a turn. And so I love that the flashback scenes weren't super drawn out. You just got a little glimpse into their happy married life, and yeah, they're basically trying to work on the relationship. So cute, loved it 100%. I gave this one 4 stars. The next book I read was Tri6 Venom by Penelope Douglas, and you guys know this was one of my most anticipated releases. I filmed a whole video of me like trying to decipher what the book would be about by looking at Penelope Douglas's Spotify playlist for Tri6 Venom, and then also her Pinterest board, and let's just say I was correct, and it was so good. This was basically a sapphic romance, and it was a bully romance, which you guys know just like feeds my soul, and it was so much fun. Basically we have Olivia and we have Clay, and these are, one of them, I forgot who is who. I think Clay. Yeah, so Clay is like the blonde popular bubblegum pink girl, and then you have Olivia who's like kind of like the emo girl. They're both from opposite sides of the track. They go to like an all-girls high school, Catholic high school, and yeah, they basically, Clay is bullying the crap out of Clay. Or Clay is bullying the crap out of Olivia, and obviously they just have this amazing chemistry and tension, and it's basically like one of my new favorite bully romances. It was so good. That was actually the first sapphic romance that I've ever read, and I've been looking in the market for some more. I think also I would like to read, what is it called, Hush by Liza James. And yeah, I really loved Tri6 Venom. It's definitely one of my new favorite Penelope Douglases after Credence, for sure. And I gave this one 4 stars. So the next book that I read was The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and I actually read this for my Talk Chooses my TBR vlog, so if you haven't seen that video, go check it out. Thoroughly enjoyed that, but basically my review for that will be there. I gave that one 4.5 stars. And yeah, it was so good. And then also same kind of thing with Misconduct. That was also for that vlog, so go check it out. 4.5 stars. I got an arc of Amo Jones's new release, which is 𝓶𝓮𝓬𝓪, I still can't pronounce it, 𝓶𝓮𝓬𝓪𝓵. It's number 7 in the Elite Kings Club, and it basically is wrapping up the whole Elite Kings Club world, and it follows Bentley and Saint, and they are the cutest couple ever. I'm so obsessed with them, and I love them. So I really love that one. I gave that one 5 stars. That one was so good. Such a good wrap up and conclusion for my favorite series of all time. And yeah, we only have one more, and that book is like a diary, in a diary setting, so I'm very excited for it. And then I went down the rabbit hole of Sophie Lark, my queen. I'm completely obsessed with her and her books. First, I read Brutal Prince by Sophie Lark, obviously, and this one was so good. It is like enemies to lovers, people. Like, it's enemies. Basically, we have our Irish mafia and our Italian mafia living in the city of Chicago. Irish mafia, they're trying to kind of break out of the mafia world. They're trying to enter politics and get their influence from other places. And so basically the Italian mafia and the Irish mafia, they have been fighting. They've been feuding for years and years and years. And so one night, the daughter of the capo of the Italian mafia and his sons, they basically decide to crash one of the Irish mafia's parties. It was for one of their daughters, it was their birthday party. They decided to crash it. And the daughter, Aida, she ends up getting into a little bit of trouble. She gets stuck in a library and accidentally lights the library on fire and then escapes. And so basically Callum, who is the oldest son of the Irish mafia, once he finds out what the Italian mafia did, he is pissed, he is livid. He basically follows them that night and things go down. But before things can go too out of hand, leaders of the Italian and the Irish mafia, they decide to meet. And they decide the only way to end this feud is to have Aida and Callum become married. And so they get married. It's so fun. I loved it. It was enemies to lovers. Like, these people hated each other. They were playing tricks on each other. They almost killed each other a few times. It was just such a good time while reading this book. I loved it so much, and I gave this one 5 stars. And then I read The Stolen Heir, or Stolen Heir by Sophie Lark, and this one is the second book in the Brutal Birthright series. And this follows Callum's younger sister and then another mafia. I'm pretty sure it's the Polish mafia. So basically, in the first book, some things happen towards the end that leads our hero in The Stolen Heir to become very, very mad at the Italian and Irish mafia, and he decides to get his revenge. He decides to kidnap and take Callum's younger sister, which is Nessa. And so basically, it's kind of like a Beauty and the Beast retelling. You have this girl who is a ballerina, and she never really was involved in the mafia lifestyle. That was her whole family, but they kind of like shielded her. And then all of a sudden she's taken by this really attractive guy from the Polish mafia, and she's staying in this huge house that really is just beautiful. They start to grow attached to each other, and they fall in love, and they work out things between their families so they can be together. And it was just amazing. The chemistry, the tension, everything about this. She's a ballerina, which is so fun. And yeah, this book was really, really good. I gave this one 5 stars. And then after that, I was like, okay, I know I love Sophie Lark's Brutal Birthright series, but I want to read about people my own age, new adult. And so I binged the entire, here they are right here, Kingmaker series by Sophie Lark. The very first one is The Heir, and The Heir actually follows the children of one of the couples in the Brutal Birthright series. The heroine is actually the daughter of the couple in Stolen Heir. So this was super fun. This one's childhood friends to lovers, best friends. They were raised as family because their ties are just so interwoven. They were raised as family, and they were raised as cousins basically. And so they go off to Kingmaker's college. Oh wow, my shelves. They go off to Kingmakers, and Kingmakers is this school that's kind of like Hogwarts meets Descendants meets Deadly Class, if you guys are familiar with that. And so it's the children of mafia bosses, and they all are there. There's 4 divisions. There's like the boss, there's a bunch of other divisions, spy, and so they are both training to become the leaders of their family's mafias, and they're childhood friends to lovers. There's a little bit of a love triangle in here, and it's so amazing. I am obsessed with Leo, and the covers are just stunning. And yeah, I loved this book so much. I gave this one 5 stars. Next one is The Rebel, and this follows the son of Callum and Aida. And so this one is basically follows the campus bad boy, and it's so good. And it's basically kind of like a hate to love. There are outside forces kind of like pulling them apart, and it's very forbidden because the girl that he falls for is actually promised to someone else, and it's just amazing. And then The Bully follows the sister of the heroine in The Rebel, and then also the hero is kind of that Anna from the first book had a little bit of a love triangle with Leo. Sophie Lark refers to Dean as like her equivalent of Draco Malfoy from Hogwarts, obviously. He is a big bully. Nobody really likes him, but he's an amazing fighter. He has so many skills. He witnesses something that the heroine did, and in order for him not to tell, they kind of struck up a deal that she will become like his servant next year, and that's where it picks up. She's like his servant. She has to do stuff, super embarrassing, and he basically bullies her and they fall in love, and it was amazing. You guys know I love my bully romances. This was probably one of my favorites. That was the last Sophie Lark book that I read, but then I stuck in a few other books in between. I also read The Monster by 𝓿𝓸𝓬𝓬𝓪. I ended up DNFing this one around 30%, 35%, and it was really sad for me because I love this series so much, and this was one of my most anticipated reads, and it just was not good. It really wasn't. I did not like The Monster, so I DNF'd it and gave it 1 star. And then I read 𝓶𝓮𝓭𝓲𝓪 by Carrie and Cole. I loved this book. This follows our heroine and our heroine was raised by like a big group of people, all considered family, not actually related because her mother died when she was young. And so basically the father's best friend is the hero, and so it's a little bit taboo and forbidden. He basically helped raise her. She is super close with him and he's super close with her, and it was just so amazing, super taboo, and it was just a really fun time. There wasn't that too much like push and pull. There was a little bit because obviously they have to like stop and be like, what are we doing? Like, I literally raised you. But it was very taboo, super fun, loved it so much. And yeah. And the last book that I read in June was Run, Posey, Run by Kate C. Wells, and I read this because my friend Izzy over at Happy for Now, she was talking about this book and it just sounded so good. So basically the book starts off with our mafia boss. Can you guys tell I was a little bit obsessed with mafia in June? I was so obsessed. But it starts off with our mafia boss and his like girl, whatever, and so he calls the heroine into his office and is like, you'll never betray me, right? Like, you'd never cheat on me, you love me, this and this. And she's like, yes, 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 of course. And so he pulls up a video of a heroine with another guy, and he believes that she has cheated on him, and so he's not even willing to hear her out. He's like, get out of my house, leave the car that I bought you, leave everything I bought you, I'm done with you. And basically the other people in his like mafia whatever, they all hate her and they want to kill her, so she has to run as far as she can. And so while she's gone, he is kind of realizing like, oh, she was telling the truth, this is not true, like she did not cheat on me. And they basically have like a cat and mouse game going on because she's kind of like taunting him, like giving him clues to where she is, playing tricks on him, and he ends up capturing her, and they rebuild the relationship, which I love. You guys know I love fixing relationships, and it was amazing because she's realizing that like their whole entire relationship, he wasn't really what she wanted him to be and not really deserving of her love. And so they kind of like work on things together and unintentionally, and she's realizing that he actually cares more for her than she ever knew, and it's just so good. This had everything that I love: a sociopathic hero, number one, fixing relationship, mafia, and stalking. You guys know I love stalkers and romance books, and yes, this was just so good. Loved it. So I gave that one 5 stars. So that was the very last book that I read in June. I loved mostly everything that I read, besides a few things like The Monster was not very good, but I loved pretty much everything else. So I had a really good reading month. We are already a few days into July, and I'm loving everything that I'm reading so far. I just binged the series, so good. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a big like and a comment down below, and also subscribe so you never miss another upload from me. And yeah, that is all, and I will see you guys on Friday with a new video. Bye.
If I got one thing right, it was you and me.